Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to the Mixed Opinions podcast. I am your host, MixedByJocelin, and today we have a brilliant episode for you. But before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to Audio Movers. They're giving you guys 1 month free of their plugin, Listen To. All you have to do, hit the link below and use code MixedOpinions at checkout, and you'll get yourself 1 month free of their plugin. Shout out to those guys. But today we have a brilliant guest on. Now, I was just saying before the call, hopefully I don't butcher his name, but it's Pedro Peixoto. Did I say that right?
That's correct.
Brilliant. I apologize.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the invite.
We really appreciate you coming on. Really, really. You're a 3-time Grammy Latin nominee. Is that right?
That's right.
So I think you got some big credits behind you, especially in the Latin world. I was having a go on, please.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm from Brazil, so actually this credits is from Brazilian artists that I've worked on, and I'm very lucky to work with such talented people, you know.
Well, I mean, the Latin scene is huge in itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't feel like we're only just starting to realize just how big and how brilliant the music is. Do you know what I mean? And it's now starting to seep into our sort of like charts and our day-to-day over here in the UK and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty big in America, but in the UK we're still sort of like getting into it. But I was going through your portfolio and listening to some of your mixes, and I've got to say, absolute brilliant work. Like some serious good music there. So
thank you very much. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. So to get everyone started and just caught up a little bit, and just so my listeners can learn a bit more about you, I'd like to ask like how you got started in the industry and how you became an engineer, and you know, just to see, you know, what differences in terms like that, in terms of like growing as an engineer in Brazil in reference to growing as an engineer in the UK or America or someone like that.
Cool. Actually, I'm electrical engineering. I graduated, but here in Brazil, we don't have sound engineer courses or something like that. So you have to study outside the country or maybe on the internet by yourself. So that's what I did. But electrical engineer is like the base of everything. You know, you learn all the physics and mathematics behind the music. So I found the bridge, the connection between engineering and music. That's the sound engineering. So I just fall in love, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then I start to doing some courses outside the country. I studied with Michael Brower, Tony Maserati, and many others. I did online master classes, some classes in Argentina, Chris Lodology, and I just realized that mixing is what I aim for. You know.
So it sounds like the path isn't as simple and as clear cut as what it can be over like in the UK or America, for instance, where we've got full facilities set up and courses and qualifications set up to take you from a total novice all the way to a professional and a pro, and even like get you in to the right places and the spots to start working as a professional. So it sounds like, you know, you've had to really jump over some barriers and go through some hoops to get to where you are, which is even more credit to your success.
Yeah, that's true, because we have a different culture here, and sound engineer is kind of way behind from UK and America, you know. But nowadays, with Mix with the Masters, Pure Mix, all this online information from your podcast and stuff like that, yeah, it's really cool, because sharing information, what makes us learning more, you know.
The world's become connected through the internet, and it making everything so much more accessible. I mean, you know, I was blessed enough to go to a college and learn, music technology, but I would say the majority of my mixing, like that got me to a good level with recording, but the majority of my mixing was definitely learnt on using online courses and YouTube and things like that. So yeah, that's really cool though. So electrical engineering, that's quite crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because I think that what's make me unique, if I can say that, in this industry is like I know all the things behind the music, behind the acoustics and sine waves and frequencies. I know the math behind that, so I know what works, what is not right, and then all the stuff together reflects on the sound. So in more technical way, I started my career doing excellent stuff because of the technical side,
Yeah.
not the artistic side. Here in Brazil, it's like, all right, let's start the career. You just buy a two-channel interface, and boom, you're a recording engineer. But it's not like that. You need to study all the miking positioning, the phase issues, all that stuff. And when I got into mixing, I really dig in on how things works, gain staging, and how the mastering process affects my mix. And I think that is the key to the success is to aim what the best guys in the world are doing. So you need to figure out how to get there.
Yeah. Idolize them and
guys.
work towards that. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah. So from making the decision and saying, okay, I'm going to become a mix engineer, a sound engineer, and obviously the path to conceptualizing that in your head and saying, yeah, okay, that's what I want to do. What was the process? How did you first find yourself in a big studio and working with these bigger names? Like, what was the process from starting and then actually, okay, I'm now doing this?
Yeah, it's kind of cloudy because it's not a straight line. I just started doing small stuff with independent artists from my town. And things starting to grow up step by step. It's not a thing that, I did that and then became, no. It's more small steps and small artists, and you start to understand that it's a long-term vision, like 10 years. It's really 10 years trying to evolve each day 1% better than yesterday. And you make connections with your city and then your country, and people are starting to listen to your music. And for lucky, I record a band called Lagoon, and then they just make a huge success in Brazil.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I have a hit here in Brazil. It's like, and I don't know how many plays, but it's around 200 million.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's some big numbers.
Yeah. Around that, yeah.
We'll put the link to the record in the description so everyone can go and check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then people starting to see my name on the credits. And then all of a sudden, my name became more seen on the credits, and the phone starts to ring.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. And how long ago was that? How long ago, when did that record come out?
2018.
Okay. So there's been a steady growth for the last 5 years or so. Increase.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And when did these Latin Grammy nominations start to roll in for you?
In 2020, I mastered an EP from an artist from Brazil, and then I got my first nomination. And then 2022, and then this year, with Best Engineer album with the same band, Lagoon.
Amazing. Well,
Is
congratulations on
yeah,
that.
I was a.
100%.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a really good process. It was really, really nice to record those guys because we are really friends, and we went to a studio and spent 40 days
Oh,
locked
wow.
out in the studio. Yeah,
In Spain.
the band and all that. No, here in
Oh,
Brazil.
sorry, I thought you said in Spain.
No. In the studio. But it was very, very cool because it was a process that I became a producer, engineer, and mix engineer.
Okay, amazing.
So
So you were like executive producing the project as well.
yeah,
Amazing.
and then I invited other producers and another friend of mine to mix the 2 tracks of the album. Yeah, and then this year I got the nominee. Yeah,
That is,
really,
that
really
is
happy for that.
incredible. Yeah, that's amazing.
Incredible.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks.
always on to bigger and better things, but there's no higher accolade than, a Grammy nomination, really. So, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. In terms of like your mix process, could you tell me a little bit about it? Like, are you kind of working in the box? Are you using a lot of outboard gear? Like, what's sort of like, in an overarching way, like your sort of process, like what are you using when you're mixing?
All in the box. All
Okay.
in the box since the beginning because my vision was the world is becoming in the box. So I need to be very straightforward with my career. I need to understand that the price of the things in Brazil, the equipments in Brazil are very, very high, very high. And
Because of the
it's
import
not,
costs and stuff like that.
yeah, it's not affordable for us. And then I just realized that I need to get in the box. And in the same way, the Serban Gania is all in the box. So it's kind of a good thing for me. And then I just use Pro Tools, Linux Halo converters, and Pro X from my main monitors, and Dynaudio BM15, I think, with sub.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's my rig, and I use the Artist Mix controller and TC Electronic. Yeah, that's all.
Sweet. I mean, whatever gets the job done, really. And I think the world, as you said, is definitely going in the box. So, and it makes a lot of sense, especially when you, in this day and age, with how fast we have to turn around these projects and recalls and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Having the facilities there just to be able to load it up anywhere, basically anywhere in the world, really, and be able to make your adjustments is super important. So yeah, the more people I speak to, the more it sounds like everyone's sort of going down that way.
Really?
That leads me on to my next question, though. When it comes to being in the box, I'd love to know, like right now, like what are your like 3 top plugins that you're using? Like what's like the ones that you can't live without?
Free plugins?
3, not free. 3.
3.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all good.
3 plugins. Spectre
Okay.
from Waves Factory.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game changer. Fab Filter, Pro Key 3.
Yeah.
R-Comp.
Okay, you like the R comp? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the best in the game.
Yeah. That comes up a lot, to be fair, and it's been a staple for quite a long time as well. To be fair, it's there, and the Pro Q3. I think the Pro Q3, Fab Filter in general, make brilliant plugins, but yeah, that's good staple. That's really cool. And in terms of like your actual studio itself, like where you work from, like what's a few pieces of it, can be furniture, gear, whatever, like what is, again, you've got to have it in the room to help you work.
Can I say my speakers?
Yeah,
definitely the Pro X. I recently I got the Pro X 3 months ago. It's like blew out my mind because the speakers are really, how can I say, the consumer listening.
Yeah.
But in high fidelity audio. So it's the best of the both worlds. and my mixes are way more precise and way more stable, and the tonal balance is really
They translate better to other systems with those speakers.
That's the word.
Okay.
Translation. That's the
Nice.
word. That's the word.
That might have to be something I'll have to have a look into then.
Yeah.
I'm still on Adams. I love Adams. I can't seem to get rid of them. But
Yeah, I'm kind of. I think that there are so many different speakers, but I believe that there are different ways to approach on that. For example, speakers for producers, speakers for master engineers and mix engineers, they are different in my mind.
Yeah, 100%.
For example, when you have the PMCs, the huge ones,
Yeah.
they're more like for tonal balancing and depth, and you need to understand like the microscope of sound. But for mixing, it's too many things to pay attention at the same time.
Yeah.
So you got lost on the heart of the song. At the same time, Adams, Neumann's, Genelex, Yamaha, not the NS10s, Yamaha, the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
I think that more producer style of speakers, because doesn't have the right accuracy and the balance to understand what needs to be
get
fixed.
The detail that you need from it.
Yeah.
More of an overarching color to the sound.
Yeah. For producers,
totally.
definitely.
Yeah. And KRKs go in there. Every single producer has a pair of KRKs.
Yeah.
DJs.
That's okay. That's okay.
Like in the UK, everyone starts with a pair of KRKs. Like that's the
Brazil the same.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Yeah, I think they like them because of the big yellow cone, but they look cool. In terms of like mixing, obviously dominating your mixes, we're now transitioning to like a new sort of era in mixing, I believe, where it's going into where we're doing a lot more Dolby Atmos mixes. Have you started to work in that world? Are you doing Dolby mixes yet?
Yeah, I did a few mixes on Dolby Atmos, but I think I'm not sure yet how it works for the client. So I believe that if you are a professional in this area, you need to think what is the right shot for your investment. So I think the stereo field is like way more important for the industry than Atmos.
Okay.
A small percentage of the population that consume Atmos. That's the main point.
Do you think though within the next like 5 to 10 years that shift will happen where the technology gets better and like headphones and the binaural listening of it improves because we can now stream it, that it can be a much more like immersive and sort of like even fun experience to listen to music through?
Yeah.
You think it might develop into something and one day almost take over the stereo listening experience?
Yeah, I believe on that, but we never know.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's challenging because people don't understand how it works nowadays, the consumer level.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right.
No, I don't think there's enough information out there yet. And there's not enough products because the consumers will understand it once the products are there, and
but the main point is when you show Atmos mixes for a normal person and the stereo mix, 99% of the times stereo mixes are more precise and more translating well for their ears, So it's kind of strange. It's kind of, this not feels right.
Right.
You need to understand how to we need to understand how to consume this technology,
Yeah. 100%. I think obviously the binaural headphone route and cars as well is going to be like the
Yeah.
first areas that are really going to like fully adopt it. And well, obviously Apple already has, especially with their headphones.
Mm-hmm.
But and
Mm-hmm.
I think when it becomes more accessible and artists start using it more, and it's developed for like the music's developed from a Dolby Atmos perspective rather than being
Mm-hmm.
built in a stereo world and then adapted to Atmos. I think once it starts being made for that and adapted to then fold down to stereo, I think we'll get much more interesting, and like people will actually want to experience the songs like that because that's how they were meant to be made. Do you see what I'm saying? Rather than change.
Totally. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, and are you mixing when you're mixing them? Do you have access to like a Dolby room, or are you using the binaural headphones and mixing like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, not in my city, but I have a few friends that
That
is
have the
doing
rooms.
Atmos stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good for engineers because it's another income stream. Do you know what I mean? It's another
Yeah.
service that we can offer, and it's something that is becoming accessible to engineers at any level at this point, especially with the fact that people can, without having a room, mix binaurally
Mm-hmm.
and then like test
Yeah,
it and stuff.
but to be honest, Atmos mixing is not fun.
You don't think so?
No, it's way less artistic. You need to just put things on the room, and that's it. When you start to spin things around or just throwing some different effects, the artist doesn't approve that.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying like when we're able to start building the mixes
Yes.
from that first, and you know, I was talking about it with a friend. If you know, obviously when artists are tracking, they're tracking in a stereo field, like when they're listening back in the room and stuff like that. If they start tracking in a Dolby room as well,
Oh, that's amazing.
you can start to like entwine the seeds of where things can be positioned and how creative you can be with the space. Do you see what I'm saying? Rather than yeah, okay, that's how you're used to it, and then because it's like demoitis almost, you know, they're used to hearing it in a stereo field, and then suddenly it's like, no, this is too crazy. This is not what I want in my song. But if they build it like that from the
Definitely.
beginning, I think at all levels it becomes better. So I'm a fan, and I think
Yeah,
that
I'm a big fan too, but it's exactly what you said. You need to start from scratch.
yeah, 100%. I think people will start doing that eventually, but the technology does
Hmm.
need to grow a bit more, maybe. That's cool though.
Definitely.
I saw, and I might be wrong because a lot of your Instagram isn't in English, so I couldn't read a lot of the stuff that was coming up. But I think I got from it that you run a course, or you teach.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
ask you about that. Sort of like, how does that come about? Tell me a bit about it, and you know the kind of stuff that
Nice.
you cover.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I always like to teach math and things like that. And when I
Okay.
became a sound engineer, I just realized that I I'm able to teach audio stuff too. So I started to teach my friends about audio stuff, miking, and the room and the gears. And then I realized that it's a business where I can
Mm.
earn money on that. So I started my online courses, and now it's been like 8 years or 7 years that I've been teaching, and I have more than 9,000 students.
Wow, that's crazy. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, I'm one of the biggest references here in Brazil from audio teaching.
So you're teaching the next generation of Brazilian engineers. That's so
Yeah,
cool, man. That's so cool. I love that because I think you're one of the first people that have come on that do that and teach. Um, it's something I do as well. I have a mentorship, an 8-week mentorship course that I do.
Nice.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you about it, because I find it so interesting and so rewarding as well, like doing the classes and stuff like that. And again, this is sort of like where this podcast came out from. Do you know what I mean? My want to discuss and talk and teach. So, you know, that's brilliant. And is it mostly just Brazilian students that you get, or do you get other people coming in from other places?
Yeah, actually from Brazil, the Portuguese is like this is the main struggle. So, but my plans are to translate my courses. I'm already doing that from Latin America for in Spanish, but next year I'm going to translate my courses to English.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I think it would be something so beneficial as well, because I mean, I know, speaking from my experience and from watching a lot of American engineers as well, we take a lot of influence from Latin music and how it's mixed and the vibe and the structure,
Really?
especially like drum patterns and stuff like that, and like how punchy things are and upbeat, but at the same time managing to hold the sort of like acoustic and natural feeling of the music whilst giving it such power. You know, I think that would be really interesting, and would work very well in English, and people would be interested in it. So
Yeah, we definitely stay connected to do many things together, man. Yeah.
100%, 100%. I mean, you know, the guy at the top that's sort of bridging the gap is like Jason Joshua, for instance. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's perfectly in the middle of both scenes, and you can hear in his mixes how they translate, and just like the bass and the bigness, but then the liveness and how open things are. So yeah, 100%. And I mean, as if you do you know, want to do that translation over to English, if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. I'll be more than happy
thank you.
to sort of like get the word out here and help promote it over in the UK for you. 100%.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be very appreciate that.
Yeah. So coming off of the course and teaching, you know, and teaching the next generation, which is amazing. Obviously, you've got like clearly you have a very strong business mindset from that. And so I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think's next for you for the next like 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
And mixing wise, or just
In general,
academic?
because you're doing everything, you know,
Okay.
just like, where do you think you're going to be, you know, because you're Latin Grammy nominated, you're doing these courses, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
200 million streams, like it's crazy. You're like, you're right on the summit. So what's next, you know?
Yeah, I think it's kind it's not clear in my mind. I don't have this very clear in my mind, but I'd love to maybe spend a year or two in LA and make some American connections there. I've been there twice and I love the city. I'm wondering if I can move there. I don't know yet, but I started to expand my business outside my country. So I just recently mixed an artist from UK
Okay.
that got top 1 on TikTok trends.
Really?
And
Who's that then?
Grace, I forgot her name. Grace Gadot. I don't know. Grace.
We'll link her down in the comments again. Send me the link,
Okay.
and we'll put it in the comment. I think I did see that actually on your Instagram. I think you posted something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first role. But I think that I'm starting to see my career as in world business, because I can just hit the artist on the Instagram. Hey, I want to mix your song.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always do online, records online, audio mover stuff, and use this all the time, every day.
Shout out to audio movers.
So shout out to audio movers, time saver. And the artist doesn't need to come here.
No.
So yeah, I'm planning to expand as I said, translating my courses for another languages. Start to mix more American stuff, pop stuff, and UK. I love UK sound. indie and rocky. Yeah, I just want to work with talent people, man. Just
I
that.
think that I think that's a clear next step for you, and I think it's definitely, an easy bridge to gap. You know what I mean?
Not easy, man.
No, I'm sure we've already started working, and like the mixes speak for itself. And I think obviously a place like LA it's just a melting pot for everyone, and it is something where you can just achieve stuff. Like I was there last year only for 10 days, and the amount of contacts and people and relationships that I managed to build within that time was, it's unbelievable, and it's serving me well now so much. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think LA is one of the places we share a common dream, because that's the sort of my next plan is to
Oh,
figure a way of getting out there. I have a brother that lives out there, so it's not too crazy for me to do. He lives in Hollywood, but
yeah, let's go together, bro.
yeah, 100%. Let's do it and get in the studio and start doing some mixes.
Yeah.
That's really cool though. I really like that, and I really do love the fact that you teach as well. I think that's brilliant, and that you do it, and you've built your own sort of course and your own system. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like just relying on a third party company to like produce it for you or whatever. You've gone and like built something together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was very difficult to get here, So my whole dream is to make things easier from the next generation,
Yeah.
because I have yeah, it's very hard to grow from nothing, and you don't have your government, sorry, your side, and things are way expensive than American and UK, and you don't have access to good information, teachers, and all this stuff, So
Well,
my
maybe that's
dream is to
maybe
make.
that's maybe that's the next thing. The Pedro Academy of music.
It's already being recorded.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. That's the goal, and
Academy.
you build it. You know what I mean, and make that happen. You are the guy that changed and made it
Thanks for
easy
that,
for
man.
everyone and made it possible for everyone. That's brilliant. You're paving the
Yeah,
way, which is brilliant. I love that. On
I
on
appreciate that, man.
on the topic of sort of business and growth, and as engineers, and I say this a lot on this podcast, like we wear a lot of different hats. We have to do a lot of different things. We manage our business, we do our mixes, we have to do our promotion, run our socials, we have to keep growing, studio maintenance, artist relations, the list goes on. And and then you've got another one of your teaching that you do. It's a lot to manage. And I always like to ask the question of like how you go about managing those stresses and what you do to sort of like combat that and find time to like disconnect and relax.
Good question. I don't even know, but I think it's the passion is the answer for everything. When you are passionate about it, you don't even think to spend hours in the night and wake early to make things happen. You need to have this like driven and strong love inside of you to make things happen. Because when you are in the business for money or for anything like that, you don't hang the pressure. You don't do things clearly in your mind in a way to achieve a goal, and you start to be way stressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I think that the passion is the main thing.
Yeah. That keeps you going, and it keeps you motivated, and it
Always,
keeps the stress at bay, because you know that you're doing it because you love it and you want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I find that during my career, I was like 18 hours in studio, 20 hours in the studio. Was like crazy. Everyone knows about how is the beginning of this career. It's way too stressful. But nowadays, I have a family. My next year, a baby is coming.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
thank you. So I need to be very focused on on which parts of my life are giving the most
Time.
return. Yeah, time consuming things. I just get rid of that and focus on what really important.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And yeah, as I said,
Yeah.
congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In terms of like, just because I always like to know, because I do feel like engineers, especially, we get so consumed with it. And I like to know, because I personally have hobbies that I do outside, and I think they're important for me. Like, do you have any hobbies? Like, what do you like to do? You know, I had David on last week, and he was saying how much he likes to go golfing and stuff like that. And Beautiful Beats was like, I'm big with going to church and playing basketball, stuff like that.
Sure.
What do you do when you're not in the studio and you're not with your family? How do you like to spend your time?
Yeah, I love video game stuff. I like exercising myself. I start to do calisthenics. You know what it is?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I love that. And I find that when you work your body, your mind and your ears work better.
Yeah, 100%. I like to go in the morning before I get to the studio. I always go to the gym, work out, move my body, and then sit in a chair for 8 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't, because I can't seem to get myself into it. If I've been working, I can't seem to get myself to go to the gym. But if I go first thing in the morning and just get it done, and it makes me feel good, and it gives me like a fresh sort of like mind when it comes to approaching a mix. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just realized that when you have your body working well, and you do your exercise in the morning, your mind it's prepared for be fresh for the sounds. So the same 18 hours from the past is the same 6 hours from now. The same productivity. I don't know the
productivity.
name. Yeah, productivity. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
My English is not.
Mate, your English
not that good.
Your English is a lot better than my Brazilian, or what's the language? What is it? See, that's
Portuguese.
Portuguese. My Portuguese. So yeah.
Sorry for that, guys.
No, it's all good. That's really cool, man. And I think so. Sort of like my last kind of questions in this I'm going to ask you two separate ones, but they might be similar.
Okay.
But if you had the opportunity to speak to your younger self, what advice would you give him in terms of like, you know, making the career? Like, what would you do differently, if anything, you know, when coming up and building a career as a successful engineer?
Differently, I think not, but I just realized that each process needs to be in a certain way to you understand your path and understand that every step is valuable, because your mistakes are very important to make you successful. So each person has your own path. So when I advise some student, oh, do this and do that, or don't do this, it works for me, but I don't know if it's gonna work for him. So it's very delicate part of teaching, because everyone has the different approach and mindset and skills. So you need to understand, where are you aiming? Where are you going? That's the main thing. Who you want to be in 5 or 10 years from now.
Having a clear vision.
Clear vision is the key.
And just getting up every day and working a little bit towards that every day.
That's it. Enjoying the process.
Yeah. And if you make mistakes, you learn from them. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Everyone makes.
I don't have advices.
Yeah.
I don't have advices from my younger Pedro, because that's it, you know.
Yeah, he made all the mistakes and then learned from them, and that's how you become. I love that. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's okay.
And on a similar sort of vibe, but if you could give some advice to the young guys coming up into the industry, especially, you know, from Brazil, and even the rest of the world, you know, what advice would you give them? Because I think you have a really good perspective on this, just because of just how hard it has been to get to where you are, and the lack of
Just
opportunity.
perfect. Yeah, just learn from the best. That's it.
Yeah.
Point.
Study.
Because study, learn from the best. Because when you are in this whole era of information, massive information outside, you got lost. You get lost for too many things going on at the same time. You know, it's don't do this. Oh, use this compressor or kill before compressor. Or don't do that. Blah. You kind of be lost.
100%.
You need to. Yeah, I believe that. For example, I like Michael Brower mixes.
Right.
Many mixes.
Yeah.
And then I studied those guys.
Yeah.
What is the main? What's the main monitor? What's the gear? What's the approach on mix bus? What's the gain staging stuff? The story behind the success, all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Just listen the music what you like, go after the credits, and see the guy who did that.
Yeah, and there is
That's the way.
And because of the internet, there's more and more information on those people out there. You know, so you can do. And you can find these people, and you can find the videos, and you can find the information, and you know, even the opportunities where people are starting to do like in-person stuff, like Jason Joshua does seminars where you can go to them and stuff. You know, I always say that to my students, because they're like, I'm like, bro, you should go to these things. Like, they're in London, they happen. You know, Mix with the Masters did a Jason Joshua at Abbey Road, like unbelievable. And they're like, oh, it's a bit expensive. I'm like, it's like £120. Okay, it might be expensive for you, but those 6 hours that you're in that room is worth way more than £120.
Way more.
Like an unspeakable amount. But it's all dependent on you and how you approach it and what you get from it. You know,
way more.
So yeah, it's definitely a very good point. Learn from the best. Learn from the best. 100.
Learn from the best. 100%. I always like to say that audio. There is no right or wrong in audio stuff. I believe that.
Yeah, if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Because music is on the top.
Yeah.
The audio stuff is behind that.
Yeah.
The common mistakes from the younger guys is to believe there is a certain amount of loudness and compression, minus 18, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Get rid of the numbers, man.
Yeah.
Forget all about the shit.
Yeah.
You need to feel, you need to study how your technical movements translate in emotions. That's the key.
I couldn't have said it better myself. 110% agree wholeheartedly. That is something that I personally say to my students all the time. I say, you'll go on YouTube and you'll see this guy and he says, your kicks have to be minus da-da-da-da.
Nah.
It's all bullshit. Like 100%.
Bullshit.
It is about how it feels and how it translates. And if you're capturing the music and you're doing the music justice, and then it translates, and there is a bit of competitivity in there, like, does it compete with the other records that are going to be, and that does come into it a little bit, but the majority is, does it sound good, and does it feel right? And then that's, you've done a good job if it does. So 100% agree.
Of course, when you get on the higher level, you need to study more and get more into the small details and get like, how is this plugin on MixedBuzz affect my vocals and the compression? You need to understand, especially the basic tools and the gain staging from your mix to be able to break the rules.
Yeah, exactly that. But I always say, the role of an engineer is like a transparent bit of glass. We have to be there, but you should be able to see through it, right? And it should be clear as day, like what the artist was trying to achieve. We have to be there, but we shouldn't be visible. Do you know what I mean? It should just be enhancing the artist's vision, and that's all our role is.
I'm gonna steal your thought.
Okay, yeah. Please do. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, brilliant, and I really, really appreciate you coming on. You've given some amazing advice and truly inspiring as well. Your story, I have to say, really, really inspiring. And and we'll have to, do a part 2 at some point. Maybe if you find yourself, NAMM's round the corner, I might be there, or one day if you get yourself over over to LA, we can link up and do an in-person one 100%. Or if you find yourself in the UK, please give me a shout. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We'll do this.
100%. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, it
No,
was a big pleasure.
yeah, thank you. And all of Pedro's stuff will be in the links below, his website, his Instagram, and links to some of the music that he's done. Check him out. And yeah, and if you're in Brazil and you want to learn how to mix, or anywhere in the world, he's the guy, it sounds like. So get on to him. And yeah, you've been listening to the Mixed Opinions podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Safe.